mic test. Mic test 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4. Mic test 1 2 3 4.
Testing, testing. Mic test, mic test. Let's listen. Testing, testing. 你刚才按什么？这个都拿出来。
什么东西？
这个都拿出来。
我没有按什么东西。
Mic test 1 2 3 4. 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 Okay, everyone, welcome to the National Netball Championships 2020-2021. This is the open category and the ladies category. In the open category, we have Aloysius Yapp versus Toh Lian. And the ladies category, we have Jessica Tan versus Charlene Chai. We will be providing commentary on the match between Aloysius Yapp and Toh Lian. This is Fraser, accompanied by Steve Chua. Steve, would you like to say something?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the live and first commentary for the National Netball. Both of us will do the commentary for today.
Okay, we'll be reading all the comments in Facebook Live. So please like and share and give us more comments, and we will try to reply to each comment as much as possible. The leg between Aloysius Yapp and Toh Lian has been done, and Toh Lian has won the leg. He will be breaking first. So in this commentary, I will be commentating in English, while Steve Chua will be commentating in Mandarin. And if you guys did watch the semi-final between Aloysius Yapp and Sharik Said. Sharik lost after missing the 6th ball, and he's feeling very sad. So once he got over that 6th ball, he will be joining us and commentating in Melayu and Tamil. Good break by Toh Lian. Problem ball will be on the 5. It's frozen to the 9, right at the bottom of the screen.
OK， 我会用华语来讲明。现在这场球只有4到5是最关键的，他只要做到4要敲5，就整场球就是完了，就看他怎么打吧。
Please help to like and share the live video, and if we hit maybe 300 views, we will get Sharik in to commentate in Melayu and Tamil. Toh Lian tried to go down to the bottom side of the 5 to play a safety, but he has overrun. He has now a thin cut on the 5. Good speed control on the table. It seems like there is an advantage for Toh Lian because he just finished his semi-final match with Desmond Goh just about 30 minutes ago. So he will be more comfortable right now with the table speed.
你看得出多连汉已经进入状况了，他的那个防守打的力道打得非常的好。现在 Aloysius 要打一个灌，打一个 one cushion 灌5号，要把那个5号灌下那个 table， 白球也有可能把那个9号灌进去，所以就看 Aloysius 怎么打吧。
He might be looking to contact the bottom side of the 5 to send the 5 ball upwards and leave the cue ball at the bottom of the table, and that would give a separation. Very well kicked by Aloysius Yapp.
力道打得非常的精准，非常好的球。
We will also be providing live score update on the ladies match. It's currently 0-0. Or you can go to Q Sports Live Facebook page where they are also streaming the ladies match, but there will not be any commentary there. I fully expect Aloysius Yapp to make this jump shot. I think he has got one of the best jumping abilities in Singapore. I guess that's a commentator's curse. Aloysius missed the jump shot by quite a bit. And right now, Toh Lian has got the chance on the table to take first blood. A little awkward on the 7, but he can just stun over to the left side of the 9. Okay, he chose to play a forced follow shot to leave the cue ball on the right side of the 9, which is perfectly fine as well.
Okay, first frame to Toh Lian. Well played. Okay, Aloysius' result speaks for himself. Multiple times of our national 9 ball, 10 ball champion. I think since 2013 has been in the final of every 9 ball and 10 ball national Singapore championship. The results is tremendous, right, Fraser?
Yeah, it's amazing. And if you look at his results for the past few years, he's been doing pretty well overseas as well. He's currently ranked 25 in the world, 4th in Asia. And I think this has got a lot to do with the help from Q Sports Singapore. It has been a tremendous year for Q Sports Singapore, unfortunately with the COVID situation, but at least we are still able to organize and play in such events. In 2019 SEA Games, Singapore collected 8 medals, 1 gold, 1 silver and 6 bronze. It's amazing how much Q Sports Singapore is actually planning for the future with the development of 3 intermediate squad. We have the women's intermediate squad, the men's intermediate squad, as well as the snooker intermediate squad, who recently competed in the Penang Open, I think just last year. There's even a women's development squad right now coached by our David Pala, and it only started last month, November.
哦，这场开球，Aloysius 开得非常的精准，这就是他平时练球所开的那个1号，依靠的位置都是在这里附近，然后就整场球应该是没有什么难球了，就是好好的每一杆都跟他，好好的跟他打完他，应该是没有问题的。
And for those who didn't know, Q Sports Singapore has finally got a second SPEC scholar in Aloysius Yapp. He has secured a SPEC scholarship with Sports SG beside Peter Gilchrist. And on a side note, Peter Gilchrist has actually been awarded the Sportsman of the Year award this year. So well done, Q Sports Singapore. Very simple layout right now. He could just stop the 3 and the 4. The important shot on this rack would just to leave a good angle on the 5 to position for the 7 at the bottom of the screen. Aloysius can elect to take one rail, the top rail, by playing follow and then go straight down the table, or he can elect to play 2 or 3 rails around the table to position for the 7 at the bottom of the screen. The men's final is currently played on a brand new cloth. It has been changed on Friday, so the tables are really slick right now. And playing on slick tables can be quite challenging, isn't it, Steve?
Yes, definitely. This table is very sleek and very well run. So and it's a diamond table, so the cushion bounce is a bit different. But Aloysius and Toh Lian should be well versed to play well on this table. 没问题 ，Aloysius 就把整场球吃完了。现在比数1-1。女子组方面，现在是小林 leading 1-0。Fraser, you have been playing with Aloysius for a while. You have been practicing with him? What do you think of Aloysius? Is he a complete player? Is he due to win a world title soon?
I think if Aloysius keeps doing with what he is currently doing, I believe sooner or later a major title will come. I mean, he's a tremendous player, great talent, and very, very hardworking. I had a conversation with the employees of Q Sports Singapore just before the game, and they were telling me that Aloysius is clocking about 250 hours per month, and that is really, really amazing, and his results speaks for itself. Followed by players like Toh Lian who is clocking about 90 over hours per month, and then we have Sharik and Desmond and myself who are clocking about on average 40 hours per month. So it does show that the number of hours put in on the table actually gives you a certain result in the game.
Well, there's a long training time, and in fair honesty, Aloysius has put Singapore into the world pool map. Before Aloysius come into the screen, Singapore was not really recognized as a strong pool major power. So he has done a good job to put us into the world pool scene. And we wish more younger players will be like him, training more and putting Singapore further ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say Aloysius has really brought up the standard of the game here in Singapore, and many players have improved, because we have a world-class player to spar with almost every day at the academy. And if you look at the last 32 table for this National 9-Ball Championship, there are a few young players who have come through. In fact, I think more and more younger players have been qualifying for the last 32 games. Players like Han Qiang, Benedict, Jun Ze, Darren Young, and then there's also our youth top player Nicholas Tan. I think it's a good sign that Q Sports is heading towards the right direction. Good use of the 8-ball to hold for position on the 4. The table has really opened up right now. He could just stun one cushion out to the center of the table for the 5. And the 6 to the 7 is absolutely easy for Toh Lian. Just got to leave himself on the right angle on the 7 to come down for the 9. Sorry, come down for the 8. Shouldn't be a problem to go 2-1 up for Toh Lian. And on the ladies' side, Charlene is currently leading 2-0.
9号球最关键的其实就是冲球，在这场比赛，两名选手都把冲球都打得很好，因为你冲完球，你的1号看不到，就是徒劳无功。现在只是最关键就是7号到8号，多连汉坐这个位置，应该是一个强力拉杆回来做8号吧。从这里看不太清楚，可是应该是强力拉杆就做得到8号了，就整场球就吃完了。
Yes, Inan, I agree also that Steve's voice is very sexy. And thank you, Edward Hoffman, for sharing the stream. 120 views now. 180 more to hit 300 to get Sharik Syed to come in to commentate in Malayu and Tamil.
女子组方面，小林赛现在是以2-0领先。Jessica 现在在 on the table 是要把球要吃完了，现在是看着他的表现吧。小林赛蛮镇定的，已经2场球都打得稳扎稳打的，就把球吃完了。
Thank you, Inan, for your compliments. For those of you who don't know, Inan is also a really good player, full of talent as well. Liang Tek Wong, I'm so sorry because we are very, very close to the two tables in play, so we really have to speak really, really soft in order not to distract the players. For those of you who play 9-ball, I'm sure most of you know the different kinds of break that you can use in the break of 9-ball. There's the cut break, there's the full ball break, there's the break that allows the one ball to travel 3 cushions. So in this scenario, I think Aloysius has elected to use this full ball spin break, and that gives you the most advantage in an open table because the one might pocket into the center table, the one might go 3 rails to the top left, usually from the side that you're breaking from. And in this case, Aloysius has got a nice look on the 1, but it seems like the 5 is giving him a little bit of problem. I'm not too sure whether it can go to the top right pocket. We shall see on how he positioned from the 4 to the 5, because even if it doesn't go to the top right, I believe it does go to the top left.
这场球最关键就是4做5。5号如果打不进，你就可以打一个防守，把球粘死在8号里面，那就我波内就会头痛，也是很难解的一粒球。就看 Aloysius 会把它吃完，就是把它敲开呢，还是就打一个防守。
Inan just said that he's a fish. I don't think that's true. I'm very sure a lot of us will agree that Inan is a hustler in the game, right, Inan? Edward Hoffman, are you a fan of the cut break? So in the technique of the cut break, it is usually to cut the pack from the side that you're breaking from to allow the one ball to travel below the side pocket and move to the top side pocket, the pocket that you're breaking from. So that is a good technique as well, but it all depends on the table condition as well, because at times the danger for the cut break is that the wing ball tends to not pocket. So Aloysius positioned himself on the bank shot on the 5, and he made it look really, really easy. Tables open up right now. I think the game is going to go 2-2. for the ladies, the live score update right now is Charlene 2, Jessica 1.
这场球Aloysius表现出他本身的超高的技术，把整场球吃完。这是一个场不容易吃完球，打得非常的完美。这场。
On the other final, Charlene just attempted an amazing jump shot, but she missed the 3 ball on the jump. And right now, Jessica has got a long, tough shot on the 3. And again, if you want to watch the ladies' final, you can catch Q Sports Singapore Facebook page. We have the live stream up right there, but there is no commentary on that stream. And for those of you who has just joined us, welcome to Q Sports Singapore Facebook page. This is Fraser, and I have alongside with me Steve Chua in the commentary box.
Aloysius will be playing in the Predator Virtual Tournament 10x4. It's a virtual tournament where you play against yourself. Let's wish him all the best for next week. I think it will be live, it will be telecast on the YouTube, so everybody can just wish him luck for next week.
Yes, I agree with Edward Hoffman that sometimes aiming at one of the middle balls behind the 1 ball gives you a good and consistent aiming instead of just looking purely at the 1 ball. And with that kind of aiming, it actually provides a very consistent break pattern on the peg, because like I said, the cut break is a very challenging break because sometimes the wing ball does not go straight into the pocket. You got to hit it with the right amount of spin, the right amount of power. If you cut it too thin, the peg doesn't open up, because with the current 3 ball rule right now, you have to have a legal break in order to actually run out the table.
这场球的多连汉的那个开球也发挥的非常的精准。1号、1号、3号、5号都是很容易吃完球，所以这场比赛只有7号不知道可不可以过，应该是可以过吧，就拭目以待吧。Hi Justin, I just saw your message here.
So it seems like both players are electing to use the spin break, the one that you hit the peg full with the cue ball spinning. I feel that that break is the easiest to catch with the best possible layout on the table, because the one either pockets in the center table or it runs 2 or 3 rows around the table to the top side pocket from the area you're breaking from. And that is actually the break that I use in this tournament. Okay, looks like Toh Lian is going to go to the lead, 3-2. Just before I said that he overruns the cue ball slightly, and I think it's got to do with the conditions right now. The table is bouncing a little bit too much, or you can call it the commentator's curse. I don't know.
现在多连汉在打这个9号球，现在比数3-2。这场球赛两方的球员都表现得非常的完美，就是一开完球就吃完。多连汉已经连续第3场都吃完了，Aloysius也是都表现得非常的高超技术。
Yeah, the tough cut on the 9 didn't trouble Toh Lian. He makes it look easy to go up 3-2, taking the lead. Le Dai Kan, I don't think that is very true because in the 10-ball finals, Aloysius Yapp played Desmond Go. So perhaps you mean majority of the finals. Yeah, perhaps it's Toh Lian versus Aloysius Yapp. They are, I would say, the top 2 or top 3 players in Singapore. Because closely behind we have Desmond Go and Sharik, who are also amazing players. Edward Hoffman, Toh Lian is actually our national coach. And he's currently ranked, I think, 3rd or 4th in Singapore. He is a player with a vast amount of experience, very good knowledge of the game, and even the Taiwanese players show a lot of respect to him. And he has groomed and helped a lot of players like myself, even give very quality advice to Desmond, Sharik and Aloysius. So he has got his credit as well for the improvement of Singapore's game at a national level.
Well, Toh Lian is a veteran. He has won the Singapore 10-ball on the year 2016 and 2017. So he definitely has skills to perform here, to give Aloysius a good fight today.
Okay, in this instance, Aloysius didn't hit the peg either hard enough or full enough. So with the cue ball drifting towards the left side of the table, the one ball did not travel as much as he would have liked. I think if he had hit the peg hard enough or hit the break full enough, he would have been able to see the one ball.
This 场球 Aloysius 开得不太完美，所以他需要做一个 push out。push out 尽量就是打到一个你想到那个 solution 的地方，可是对手是想不到，这个是最完美。
And for those of you who actually watch the year that Joshua Fila won the Whirlpool Championship, I think that was in 2018, if I'm not wrong. He was implementing, or rather using a soft break. And you guys have to know that that came from Singapore, and that was, I wouldn't say invented, but it was kind of improved by Toh Lian. And yes, Edward Hoffman, if you get respect from the big and little co, you are definitely someone with a really good pedigree in the game. And not only the two co-brothers, Toh Lian has got very good respect from players like Chan Jong Lin and Koh Po Cheng. Toh Lian returns the push out to Aloysius. Looks like Aloysius is trying to kick the one ball from the back and try to hold the cue ball on the top of the table. He caught it too thin and he raises his hands up to Toh Lian with a good roll on the table.
这粒球其实 Aloysius 不是这么打的，可是有点幸运的，刚好躲在了8号后面。现在多利汉是有个头痛问题，因为他需要打one cushion下去，把那个1号 kick 下去，也不容易打一个防守，不容易把那个1号 kick 的去 safety， 所以这粒球是非常难打跟关键的。
Yeah, Edward Hoffman. Corey Dewar did say that he has got 50 over breaks, 50 over different kind of breaks in 9-ball. I think there was an interview or he answered a question during the latest Mosconi Cup, and he said that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he said that he invented that break. But before before Fila did the soft break, we were all doing it in Singapore. Yes. Toh Lian attempted a very good kick shot, but he has left half a chance for Aloysius Yapp. Two balls are pretty close to each other. Aloysius have to jack up to pot the 1 ball, but nothing much to do with the cue ball as the 2 ball is just laying right out of the center pocket. So as long as he pockets this ball, I think the table should be really open for him. Keep the comments coming in, guys, and please help to like and share the Facebook stream. We currently have the men's final and the ladies final in the Q Sports Facebook page with commentary on the men's final. And if you just tune in, this is Fraser, and beside me I have Steve Chua, who will be commentating in Mandarin. A little straight on the 5, so I think Aloysius will just have to drift the cue ball downwards to take the short side for the 6, leaving a good angle, and he might take 1 or 2 rails up to the center of the table for the 7 ball.
女子组方面 Charlene Chai 现在是以4-1领先 Jessica Tan。 Charlene Chai 打得比较稳， Jessica 还有一点冒失。现在 Aloysius 应该是把这场吃完就会变成3-3了。
For the ladies' final, a timeout has been called by Jessica. She's currently down 4 racks to 1.
我们新加坡选手都有去台湾练球，所以把球艺练得还不错。现在 Aloysius 在亚洲排名赛他是第4，柯炳一第1，张荣麟第2，柯炳忠第3。这是 January 2013，对 January 13，2020的排名赛。多连汉呢，在亚洲赛是在第15名 ，Sharik 另外一个新加坡好手是27 ，Desmond Goh 是在31名，然后还有2位选手，一个是 Fraser 是在亚洲是48名，然后还有一个 Steve Fong 是71，所以这些选手都是有去台湾练，都把球艺都练上来了。
And Steve, I got to say that I have a lot of respect for you because on top of being a player, you are also a referee, a coach, and right now you are even doing commentating. So, what drives you to commit so much into this sport?
Basically, I love these sports, so it's my life. I want to see Singapore like Philippines, like Taiwan. We can produce a lot of players that we can even form a team to challenge Philippines or Taiwan. That's why I do up the coaching for the NTU and SIM to try and bring up the sports. But ultimately, it's still the players' own dedication. They still need to put in 8 hours of training every day to be very successful, because this is a sport where a lot of training is to be put inside. So this is my wish. I just hope Singapore can do it one day. Aloysius has already proven Singapore can do it. We just need more of this kind, Aloysius dedication and hard work. Then we should be somewhere in the world pool scene.
Yeah, I believe for the older generation players, they have a saying that every 10 years there is a talent that is produced in Singapore. So 20 years ago there was KK Chan, and then for the last 10 years it was Aloysius Yapp. So we're actually looking forward for a breakthrough from another player in the next 10 years, perhaps Nicholas Tan.
Yeah, I fully agree. Nicholas Tan is a very dedicated player, and he has all the training and support from the Q Sports to groom him. He plays in overseas tournaments and he plays a lot in local tournaments. So he just need to put in the dedication, and with all the guidance from Aloysius, Toh Lian, I believe he can do it. So it is his own dedication now. Let's see how far he can go. I hope he can really play well.
Alright, let's be back to commentating on the game. I think the one ball didn't pass the 4, so Toh Lian has got no choice but to cut the ball to the top right corner pocket. And with the cue ball traveling around the table at that kind of speed, sometimes it just have to flirt with danger, and he has snooked himself on the 2. That is a professional miss on the jump shot. He didn't leave anything easy for Aloysius Yapp. The 2 doesn't pass to the bottom right table, so Aloysius Yapp have to thin cut the 2, leaving the 2 at the bottom rail, sending the cue ball upwards around the 5.
这个防守 Aloysius 打得不太好，他应该是会不高兴这里防守。现在Toh Lian应该是会把2号打下去，然后用那个黑球来snook那个2号，就是这样的打。所以 Aloysius 会经历一点点困难，需要去打那个 one cushion 来打2号了。现在。
So for pool enthusiasts who have been watching the game and noticing top players of Singapore, you would have seen that the strength of Toh Lian is actually in his gameplay, his tactical part of the game. He always gives his opponent a lot of trouble in kicking and jumping the table. So right now we see that he is giving Aloysius a little bit of headache. A really good kick by Aloysius, but I think that he has left something for Toh Lian. A thin cut on the 2 would give him a natural angle to send the cue ball upwards for the 4. So as long as Toh Lian pockets this 2, the table is going to open right up, and Toh Lian would have the opportunity to go up 4-3.
这粒球要打2颗星，2颗 cushion 去做4号，就是闪过9号跟8号。除非他打 check side， 他应该是打2颗星会比较稳。对，打得太薄了，2颗星都是要 aim 厚一点，因为那个球去那边都会中薄了。
Yes, the important part of being able to play such soft shots with spin is to actually understand your shaft, understand your cue, and I emphasize a lot in my coaching in the past to be able to understand your shaft as much as possible. I think Aloysius is going to attack from here, and he has got a tougher tool compared to the one Toh Lian had, but I think with the sharpness of Aloysius, this should go. But because the cut is pretty thin and the cue ball is being on the rail, it boils down to how much of strength control Aloysius has got in this shot in order to hold 2 rails for the 4.
这粒球我很意外，Aloysius 没有打一个防守，因为这粒球打白球去夺5号是一个很容易打的防守。他就去 try 把那个2号要打进去，是一个非常艰难的球。现在Toh Lian有一个机会把它吃完，然后领先4-3，就看他怎么慢慢打了。
Yes, Aloysius cut the 2 ball too thin, and at conditions like this, when the balls are clean and the cloth is running slick, players tend to cut the ball extra thinner. I'm not too sure whether the 7 passes into the side pocket. Toh Lian might elect to play a 7-9 carom to take the lead 4-3. So it seems like the carom is on. Does look like it is pretty easy. A thin cut on the 7 will send the cue ball into the 9 to pocket into the center pocket. We have 158 views now, so we are halfway at the halfway mark, and 150 more. I will bring Sharik into this commentary, and he will be speaking in Malayu and Tamil.
女子组方面，贾玲帅是领先4-1。Jessica 又漏失了那个6号，发挥的这场球，Jessica 暂时还没有进入状态，所以希望他快点调整心态，把他进入状态，他就要稳扎稳打的。这场球没有意外，小林ชัย应该是会以5-1领先。男子组方面 ，Aloysius 现在会开球。
Hi TY Ing, nice to have you on our stream. And we are very happy, and it's also a pleasure for us to bring such streams to you. Thank you for tuning in. Alright, let's see whether Aloysius sticks with his football break his spin with spin, or is he going to attempt the one ball traveling 3 rails kind of break.
Aloysius 这场开球从1号做2号还是有一点点困难度的，就是可能是钝杆，强力钝杆，还是要推杆，都行。现在2做4，就现在关键的就是4做5吧。4做5还是有一点困难度，就看 Aloysius 怎么打了。
Okay, we have just seen the forte break of Aloysius, which is to hit the peg at a slightly full angle so that the cue ball drifts towards the left side of the table and the cue ball goes 2 or 3 cushions to the top left pocket. He has overrun on the 2, but I think it's still alright to be able to go 1 rail and hold for the 4 to the same pocket.
.这里就做得很美，因为4做5就是一个简单的推杆2颗星，放一点 right side 就可以做得到5号，然后5做6也是困难度不大，所以就可以慢慢的跟他吃完了。
Aloysius left himself a little too big of an angle, but I think he can recover. I think the main thing is he didn't want to land too straight on the 5. That's why he didn't put in as much spin as he would have liked. And with that kind of angle, it's really hard to hold or kill the cue ball as much to leave himself at the center of the table. He has overrun slightly. But I think with his sharpness again, he should be able to make this 6 ball to go 4 apiece. He would have liked the cue ball to travel maybe another 1 feet towards the center of the table. Right now he might have a small dilemma here, whether to screw the cue ball or to take 2 rails in between the 8 and the 9. It looks like he's going for the screw. Opening the angles a little wide. He was trying to position the cue ball on the right side of the 8 to pocket into the bottom left corner pocket. At the ladies' final, Charlene Chai is actually leading Jessica Tan by 5 racks to 1, and it looks like she's in complete control of the game. Charlene just played a brilliant safety, and Jessica missed the kick shot and has given ball in hand to Charlene Chai, and in the process of that she has actually opened up the table slightly more, giving Charlene Chai an easier run out opportunity.
Aloysius 的八打进非常的精准，这不是一个简单的那个接球，然后8号打进去做到9号也是很完美，表现出他的高超技术。现在比数是4-4，非常有看头的一场球赛。
Yes, guys, I think we are going to be here for a while. It looks like it's going to be a really, really tight final. So in this tournament, the format of the rack is actually 1 on the foot spot and 9 in the middle, without having the 2 at the bottom of the rack. So it's just 1-9 rack pattern.
OK， 来回顾一下 Aloysius 是如何进决赛的。Aloysius 是在 semi-final 是以11-9打赢 Sharik， 那也是一个非常惊心动魄的一场球赛。Sharik 是差一点可以赢的。然后 quarter final Aloysius 是打赢 KK Chan 9-4。Toh Lian 这方面，他是在 semi-final 打赢 Desmond Go， 刚刚的一场球赛11-7。quarter final Toh Lian 是打赢霍全康9-2。
Yes, I watched the match between Sharik and Aloysius, and it was a really, really exciting and close match. And I really feel for Sharik because he was really, really near to going to the hill and to take the lead against Aloysius Yapp. So he missed a 6 ball, and he was complaining to me about how he shouldn't have missed. But that's part of the game, and we all just have to learn to accept our mistakes sometimes and move on, you know, and try to be better from there. Okay, and Toh Lian has elected to continue with his break of having the full ball with spin, but unfortunately his cue ball got kicked to the top of the table. He has got a thin card on the 1, not that easy. He has elected to forego the thin card and play a safety. Aloysius is going to try and kick the 1 ball, 1 rail from the left side of the 1 to try and make the 1 ball. And with this kind of kick shot, even if he doesn't make the 1 ball, the 1 will bounce off the right long rail back to the center of the table, top center of the table, and cue ball will drift downwards to the bottom of the table, leaving separation. And in the process, very, very well done. He has used the 6 ball as a cover for the 1. Very good shot by Aloysius.
Now 现在双方进入一个防守战。这个1号Toh Lian要跟他 kick 的，这个有机会把他 kick 进去。其实防守战Toh Lian因为已经打了非常多年，他防守战都打得相当的精准。Aloysius 是准度，当然是比Toh Lian好很多。 所以这场比赛真是有得打。
This kick that Toh Lian is facing is pretty challenging because with the normal angle, I don't think Toh Lian can contact the one because the 7 is blocking the angle. He has got to really compress the rail in order for him to contact the one. So he is looking for an alternative from the right long rail and try to contact the one thin. He contacted the one too thick, and that is why both balls have traveled down the table. Shout out to Hyrule who has just joined us, and I was just saying how much of a commitment and kind of how do you call that? I said earlier that Steve has put in a lot of effort into the game because he really loved the sport and hoped for the sport to do well. And when I see Hyrule, I see that kind of passion as well because I remember once when Hyrule injured his arm, he was in bandage on his left arm and he was still playing pool and coming to take part in tournaments. So I totally have respect for Hyrule as well. Good to see you, Hyrule.
女子组方面，杰西克又有一个失误。现在小林在打9号，现在打进去就是比数6-1，小林遥遥领先了。
Good angle on the 7, so Aloysius will just take 2 rails towards the center of the table, preferably on the right center half of the table, to leave himself close to straight in on the 8 to go 5-4 up. And at the ladies final, Charlene Chai is currently leading 6 racks to 1. I'm not sure if Aloysius didn't put in as much side as he would have liked, or the table just bounced before the cue ball bites the railway side, leaving him an awkward angle right now. He might have to either play a check side 2 rails or go around the table to position for the 9.
现在比数5-4 ，Aloysius 第一次超前领先。这场球是防守战，多连汉打的那个1号打的不够好，让Aloysius有一个机会进入吃完。现在5-4 ，Aloysius 领先的状况下，他可能会越打越顺，所以多连汉会有点危险。
I think the condition in here is getting a little too humid, a little moist, causing the balls on the table to run slightly different. And these are the kind of situations whereby the good players will be able to adjust and amend their aiming, amend their potting techniques in order to keep up with the high standard of play. We shall see from here how the players adapt to the change of conditions right now, because I think more often than not in a humid country like Singapore, the wax will wear off pretty fast. Balls tend to get more moist and dirty, and balls get heavier, the bounces off different from the table. So let's see. It's going to be an interesting match from here. I fully expect Aloysius to continue with his forte break, which is to have the one ball running 2 or 3 rows around the table to travel to the nearest pocket towards him. And the cue ball will drift slightly towards the left, bottom left long rail. Let's see how it goes. That's a perfect break. I think Aloysius is going to go 6-4 from here.
你看这场球 Aloysius 的开球又是1号在那边，白球在这里，所以9号球最注重的当然是就是开球。你开球不好，你一定会处处的被控制住，所以要开球好，然后当然是要稳扎稳打的把它吃完吧。这场球我看来看去都没有什么难处吧，4做5、5做6都是极其轻松的吧，给 Aloysius， 他应该是会6-4的领先的，如果他稳扎的吃完。我建议这场球过后，多连汉可能会叫暂停，调整一下心态，然后再把下半场充分的打得更完美。否则他现在处于优势的状况下，Aloysius是越打越好的。
Yes, Edward Hoffman, CTE aiming. For those of you who doesn't know what CTE aiming is, it's a center to edge kind of an aiming system in pool, where certain players use. I believe Shane Van Boning uses center to edge aiming. If you'd like to know more about this aiming system, you can always Google it. It's a very interesting kind of aiming system. I myself uses it on very thin cuts. I do use different aiming systems for different kind of shots. So for those players who wants to improve, you can actually Google up some different kinds of aiming systems and see which one fits you the best.
女子组方面，小林川是以7-1遥遥领先。
Well, as the match progresses on, you'll be able to see the cue ball traveling in a way where the players wouldn't want it to travel. It's because of the condition and the way the cue balls are running on the humid rails, the moist rails, humid, and also the moist balls. Aloysius left himself a pretty tough cut on the 7, but he recovered well. Toh Lian will be coming to the table to break and hopefully to have a break and run and bring the match back to 6-5. Okay, it seems like Toh Lian has got two options here. He can either hold the 1 ball to take the long 3, or he can have the cue ball travel 2 rails behind the 4 and the 7, around the 4 and the 7, to the center of the table for a closer 3 ball. Let's see which option he will take from here. He's aiming low on the cue ball, so it seems like he will just be drawing. I think this is the first extension call for the game, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, 我觉得是，就是全部都是吃完的状况，这是 first extension 吧。在这里一座山应该是拉杆，然后现在问题只是那个3座4要做得美，拉杆放一点左上，然后三座4就是推杆2颗星呢，还是推杆1颗星？两种做法都可以，就是看你比较熟悉哪一个做法。
At the ladies' final, Charlene is currently leading Jessica Tan by 7 racks to 1. Oh. Toh Lian just made the table slightly more difficult, but I think he can still see an edge of the 5 to make it to the center pocket.
Oh. 这个是一个做球失误by Toh Lian，他应该是打不进5号，还是可以进，这个就是双重失误。如果可以进，你就要有一点拉杆的效果，然后才可以闪过那个尾带。这个Aloysius4粒球应该是没有问题的。
I think Toh Lian was trying to play a safety by hiding the cue ball in the pocket, but unfortunately the referee picked it up for Aloysius And Aloysius is going to clear the table to lead 7-4.
Aloysius 叫了暂停，去调整一下心态。刚才那粒球应该是第一粒打得不好的一个失误 from Toh Lian，否则整场球都发挥得还不错。现在 Aloysius 是 leading 7-4，暂时领先，抢11局。
Alright, timeout called by Toh Lian. He needs to use the restroom. So let's put our focus onto the women's final. Jessica is currently on the table now, trailing by 7 racks to 1. Hi Augustin, thank you for tuning in. At this moment, I also like to bring the referee to your attention. The referee that is overseeing the match between the men's final, Aloysius and Toh Lian is Winston Tang. And the referee for the women's final is Giorgio Go. As far as I know, Winston is a veteran referee and really professional with really shiny shoes today. Really impressed. Alright, Aloysius. Okay, Jessica just spotted the 9. And she's currently trailing 2 racks to 7. Welcome Miss Sylviana to the stream. Hi Miss Sylviana, and I'm sure all of us here know who she's rooting for in this men's final. And for all of you who don't know, Sylviana is actually a professional female pool player from Indonesia. So very happy to have her here with us. Okay, Toh Lian and Aloysius are back. It will be Aloysius to break, leading 7 racks to 4. Just playing with the cue ball a little bit right there, because I think he got bored during the timeout. For all of you who just tuned in, welcome to the Q Sports Facebook page. We are now streaming the finals of the National Netball Championships. And This is Fraser here commentating beside Steve Chua. Steve is currently commentating in Mandarin, while I'm helping out on the English part.
如果你注意看 Aloysius 的1号都是停在那个位置，白球都是在现在停下的位置，所以他的1号做2号基本上都是在这几个位置，所以他掌握的开球的那个技巧都掌握的非常的完美。9号球最重要的就是要掌握这个开球的技巧，你才可以轻松的把它吃完。他 Aloysius 每一天都可以练1个小时到2个小时的开球，所以这是最基本的那种练开球的技术。所以除了攻、开球，还有防守，防守也是一个很重要的一个环节。他打得好，这三个环节都要一起练，攻、守跟开球都是要用1-2个小时来把整场球的全部的关联都要打好。
Okay, so being left-handed, the 9 ball doesn't seem to be obstructing Aloysius. He should still be able to bridge freely. Oh, no. He still has got to bridge over the 9 ball. No issues for him at all. We should be all clear for 8-4.
没有意外 Aloysius 把这场轻松的 frame 跟他吃完了。现在比数是8-4，下一局是Toh Lian来开球。现在比数已经很接近11了，所以Toh Lian接下来都要打起精神，就每一粒球都要发挥的完美一点，否则把比数拉得太远，就很难追回了。这场比赛Aloysius好像是开了4次，然后他已经 break 了4次，非常高水准的比赛。
Yeah, I think the important part of pool is that it's not really about breaking and running. I mean, it is important to break and run, but it is to actually win the rack that you're breaking from. So if you can't break and run, try as much as possible to hold out to pot the 9 in the rack that you break. And I think it all goes for all kinds of sports. In tennis, if you serve, you always try to win the serve, win the point at your serve. It's not only about getting the ace. And it is the same for pool. I say this because I've seen semi-pros and amateurs who break and have an open table, and when they go into a little bit of a situation, they are still attacking to try and get the break and run instead of playing a safety to try and hold out for a better chance of winning the rack at their break. So that is the reason why I'm saying that break and run isn't really that important if you have a better chance of holding out and winning the rack by playing a safety in the midst of a situation.
现在4做7这场，这里球是最关键的，打一个拉杆右塞，只要不要做得太直就可以了，这场就没有意外。现在这个 position 应该是还可以，推杆一颗星上去做8号，就吃完了，打得非常好。
Just draw back a few inches, and he would have close to straight in on the 9 to go 8-5. So how many break and runs do we have ready in this match, Steve?
7.
Wow, we have 7 break and runs in this game, and that's a pretty high standard. 7 break and runs in 13 racks played. That is more than 50%. At the ladies' final, Charlene Chai is on the hill, leading 8 racks to 2. She just attempted a kick and has failed to make contact with the 1 ball. And now Jessica has got ball in hand in an open table. And again, very consistent break by Aloysius with his forte break. Good open shot on the 1, and nothing seems to be obstructing him from going 9-5 up. Very, very open table from here.
这是又是一场近乎完美的开球 ，Aloysius 1号又是在那边，白球又是在相同位置。现在1号做2号，只要1号，因为2号还有一个7号在那边挡住，所以他只要做得到2号，然后 整场球就没有什么难度了，对他。
Oh, that wipe is shoe on the way in. Still okay. He has got a good angle on the 2. He can roll his side and then maybe punch it a little to go 2 rails towards the center of the table. A little short than he would have liked, but at least the cue ball is off the rail enough to be comfortable on the 4. He didn't want to roll on the 4, so he played it with more speed. It allows the shot to be firmer and more convincing, leaving himself on the short side of the 5, but with a good angle, he is still okay. Back to the center of the table, leave himself close to straight in on the 7, and we should be good to go 9-5.
又是一场吃完的开球。我觉得这场比赛发挥的非常好，状况非常的完美。现在他领先9-5。女子组方面，小林猜领先8-2，他只需要赢多一局，他就是冠军了。所以这个现在就是哥要稳扎稳打了，不能再有任何的失误了。
Eric Craig, are you referring to Desmond Goh? If you are, Desmond Goh has lost to Toh Lian in the semi-finals.
如果讲9号开球，你最少要有3种开球，要很熟悉的，因为有时你第一种用不上，你就要用第2种、第3种来弥补一下那个桌子的反弹的那个力度跟它的弹的走位，所以最少要练好3种开球，这是最基本的9号开球，很重要的。不要只练一种，然后有一些桌子开不了，然后你就会停顿在那边，就不知道要怎么做。现在看这个多利汉的开球，那个1号走位非常的好，所以这个他要慢慢的打，一定要吃完，把比数咬得近一点，9-6，这样还可以给 Aloysius 一些威胁，所以这场是很重要。 Kevin Lim Svin 在 quarter 的时候，他就输给了 Joanne Pang。Joanne Pang 是 Aspire 的球员。
Yeah, I believe it was a close match, right? Hill. Yeah, unfortunately.
女子组方面 ，Charlene Chai 把比数打到9-2，赢了这场比赛。这场比赛是发挥的不够巅峰，患得患失，所以恭喜小联赛赢得冠军。
Okay, 9-6 is the score. Toh Lian is definitely still in this final. We are not ruling anyone out at this level of play.
其实我是最想看到的是一些年轻球员能在 final 来跟这些老一辈的球员比一下，所以年轻球员其实要加把努力的练一下，否则都是这些老一辈的在 final。
Yeah, I fully agree with Steve. We really hope to see more young or rather new players in the scene. Don't really have to be given the pressure to progress far in tournaments, but at least try and get some exposure in our local tournaments to improve their game, because I think local exposure is the first step to everything. Lost the cue ball slightly in this break. I think I got knocked upwards by, I'm not too sure which ball. But I think he still has got the one ball to the side pocket. And the drift forward should still be on the 2.
这个开球不是 Aloysius 所要的，那个1号跟母球都不是他所要的位置，可是在这里他还是可以进攻的，然后还是把1号的打进去，所以打得非常的美。现在关键球现在是4做5，只要他做得到4做5，就整场球就没有问题了。
And if you can see at the top right hand of the screen at the table, the referee Winston Tang's shoes are really very shiny. That's why he's refereeing the men's final, whereas Giorgio's shoes earlier wasn't that shiny. That's why he had to referee the ladies' final.
这种远距离的球，最重要是要对自己的杆发有信心。杆发有信心，然后把整个杆直直的推过去，不要犹豫，因为你一犹豫，那个杆球都会偏左偏右，所以这个是很重要的。对自己杆法要有信心，然后 把它推完完全全的推过去。Aloysius 是做舞做得非常完美，他就有一个小天窗，就是在这里可以看得到5号。现在只是推杆2颗星就做得到6号了，然后又把那个6号拉杆做18号，整场球就是他就是在 Hugh， 他就在 Hugh 了，就是只剩下一盘就是冠军了，所以多连汉现在应该对现在这场球赛要有一点压力了吧。
Hill 啊，上山的意思啦，在山顶了。Aloysius just has a very good touch on the cue ball, and I think that mostly from his very good stroke and grip on the cue, and he has been working a lot on his alignment recently, spending a lot of his training time this past few weeks in trying to make his alignment better. And I have no idea why, because I think he's one of the best. I think, in fact, the best spotter in Singapore. He is the best spotter in Singapore. So, if he is still working on his alignment, then I think a lot of us have to spend double the time to work on our alignment. Okay, and our Q Sports president, Mr. Chris Cha, has just walked into the arena, and hopefully he will be able to speak a few words later. Let's see how it goes, and I'll update you guys.
这场比赛好像 Aloysius 一下场就是开球就是吃完，把他的水准发挥的淋漓尽致，真不愧是世界排名第25的球员。他非常有希望的，就是把球打得更好，然后试一下看可以打一个世界冠军回来。他非常的用功，就是每天都是在练，好像8个小时，可能有时多过8个小时，所以他有一天成功不是小训的，全部都是把那个球练出来的，所以希望年轻一辈能像他有这种魄力跟他的毅力，把球打得这么完美。现在多连汉在开球。
Perfect control on the cue ball, not to do too much, just running 2 rails towards the center of the table. Even a cut shot on the 5 is fine because the 5 isn't very far from the bottom corner pocket. A little straight on the 6. I think he's just gonna screw this back to the center of the table. The angle didn't allow him to be at the exact center, but at the left side of the table is fine as well.
然不欺手人，多连汉开球吃完，发挥得很好，所以他现在其实一点失误都不能再有了。现在比数10-7，Aloysius 领先。下一盘球 Aloysius 开球，这个是非常关键的。他只要发挥得好，开球又是在那个1号，又是在那个同样位置，将他吃完的那个几率是非常大的。所以就看这场球。
Alright, after Aloysius seriously inspects the rack, he's ready to break and realize that he puts in a lot of pre-shot routine into his break. Standing pretty square to the cue ball. A little like the snooker stance. And this time the 3 has pushed the cue ball into the pocket. 防守的最高境界, as the Taiwanese say. But the referee had picked up the cue ball for Toh Lian.
终于第一个失误 ，Aloysius 的开球失误。现在多连汉看起来这场球没有什么多大问题，应该问题只是4做5吧，4做5做到了那就是赢得这盘球，然后可能10-8，下一场他开球也是非常关键的，现在不能再有失误。4做5应该只是一个绕2颗星吧，3颗星做5号。
Right, with the 3 just outside of the center pocket, Toh Lian can leave any kind of angle he would like on the 4. And I think that is very, very important here because as long as he can reach the 5 from the 4, he will be able to run this rack out. But I think he has drawn this way lesser than he would have liked. He has left himself pretty straight. He might have to force he might have to force the cue ball on this shot to go down table, or he might have to force himself to take a longer 5 than he would have liked.
3做4他做得太迟了，除非他现在是发挥一个强力拉杆去做5号，否则如果稳扎稳打的，就是定杆，然后把那个5号打一个薄球，把它切进去。就看多连汉怎么打了，看他自己的信心度在哪里。他现在在打一个强力拉杆，对自己杆法要有信心。放了右塞，把那个球停顿在那个非常远的距离。现在他只能打一个防守吧，防守就是5号打去8号那里。 然后白球可能去打去6号，还是5号打去6号都可以。那只能防守的是这里球。
Hi, if you have just tuned in to this Q Sports National Final live stream, the commentators are myself, Fraser, alongside Steve Chua, commentating in Mandarin. It seems like Toh Lian input a little bit of unwanted left side into his draw shot on the 4, and that kind of not allow the cue ball to bounce off closer to the center of the table, or rather downwards the table for the 5, and he was forced to play a safety behind the 8. I don't think he has used the 8 to hide the cue ball. Aloysius has got a full look on the 5, and I'm pretty sure he's going to cut the 5 in. He's in full attack mode now. Preferably for Toh Lian to go Heng Tai in between the 9 and the 8. Very, very big gap for him to go. Oh, it's thick enough for him to hold. So he played it soft. Good shot. He doesn't want to draw and contact the rail. Just draw enough to be able to play the 8 thick enough to hold for the 9.
Aloysius 的一粒失误，让多连汉追回10-8。现在是多连汉在开球。这个开球权对于多连汉非常重要。他如果能把比数追到10-9，就给 Aloysius 一些压力了。就看他的现在的开球的发挥会怎么样。
So at this instance, you might realize that the referee might be taking longer time to rag the balls. That's because we are trying to implement a kind of a random rag, and no pattern rags allowed in this tournament. So the referees, after picking up the balls, they have to lay them a straight line on the bottom rail, and then randomly place them in a straight line, and then take the 2 most corner balls and start to rag them from the top to the bottom rack. So that is why you might realize that the referees are taking slightly longer in racking the balls.
这个开球非常好，对多连人来说，其实全部都是容易的 容易的球应该是可以吃完的。现在只要稳扎稳打，就是不要有任何的失误，做球也是，他就应该可以追成10-9。
Toh Lian needs to draw this past the center table. He would like to leave himself on the left side of the 5 instead of being on the right side, because that would bring the 9 ball into play, and he wouldn't want that. Being on the left side of the 5 is easier for him to either use the rail to travel back out for the 6. He just called for a 45 seconds extension. From the way he's looking at this, right, I don't think he can have a straight draw, because cue ball is naturally moving downwards the table. So I think he's using 2 rails, bottom right 2 rails, to go around the 5 and the 9, and hopefully the 6 doesn't come into play.
一个幸运的 kiss 了一下9号，球还是完美的停在那边，所以整场球的关键球都已经没什么大碍了。现在只是把6做好，7号就是把整场球打完了，10-9，有的看了。
Landed awkward on the cue ball. It's on the rail, but he has got a angle on the 7 ball, so he's still fine. The 8 isn't that far from the corner pocket, so I still fully expect Toh Lian to clear this out. I think Aloysius was staring at the 7 ball for a good 3 seconds before it dropped.
非常好，Toh Lian好稳扎稳打的把比数追到10-9。现在是 Aloysius 冲球，这里冲球，他上一盘冲球就是冲得不好，把球被 kiss 了进中袋，所以这场球的冲球他还是要掌握的更积极一点，否则10-10就那个Toh Lian来开球的时候，他就有点危险了。可是以Aloysius的经验呢，他应该会把这粒球冲得很完美，就看那个球型怎么样了。现在回顾一下女子组方面，女子组是Charlene Chai打赢了 Jessica， 所以恭喜Charlene Chai赢得冠军。 这粒球 Aloysius 没有把他的力道发挥的比较扎实一点，他其实开球的力道会比这个扎实，他有一点放软了一点，他是怕那个母球进中袋，所以放软了。你看他的冲球现在看不到1号，所以现在是一个防守了，他是要有一个 push out 了，就看他 push 哪里，他可能是 push 自己跳吧，因为 Aloysius 他是要 push 下面。然后跟多利汉打一个防守战。这粒球你可以扑下去，然后就是用一颗星来去解那个1号，让那个1号跑下来。这个就是比较常见的一个防守，不要让 opponent 看得到1号，因为很容易防守，所以就跟他比解1库来把1号打下来。
Wow, the 7 ball in the previous rack could be the game changer here. I mean, that ball literally wiped its feet before dropping into the pocket. In fact, I think it wiped its body, its head, and wiped its everything before dropping into the pocket. So hopefully, Toh Lian can capture the rack from here and bring this to Hill to put up a fight in a race to 1. But before that happens, I think Aloysius has got to put in a really good safety here. He can see. I don't think he can see the 1 ball, so he's going to have to kick towards the top side of the 1 to bring the 1 ball down table and leave the cue ball on the top rail.
多利汉没有打，也是一个很明智的一个决定。出现了一点小状况，没有关系。现在 Aloysius 要解1库来打1号下去。其实这粒球不要去把它打进去会比较好，因为你打不进，你就是这场可能会输掉。我还是建议解一个 safety， 把那个1号打去那个4、5号那里，会比较稳。
Well, Aloysius did bring the 1 ball down table, but unfortunately, the cue ball scratched to the top right corner pocket, and Toh Lian has got full opportunity here to bring this to Hill as long as he can think of a way to pocket the 4 ball, because it is currently it's being obstructed by the 5 to the bottom right corner pocket. Toh Lian has got a good angle now on the 3 to stun this, or stun screw, I believe, to drift the cue ball towards the right side of the 4 ball to enable him to have a shot towards the bottom left corner. He doesn't want to have a lot of angle on the 4, so as much as possible he wants to be as straight as he can. A little too much of an angle than he would have liked. I'm not sure if he can use the 6 to kill the cue ball to position for the 5. If he can't, I think he might have to run the cue ball a little in this shot. And again, the 4-ball wiped its feet before dropping into the corner pocket, but he used the 6-ball really, really well. He can either elect to pocket the 6 into the top left corner pocket or play this 6 into the left side pocket. Chose the left side pocket. Good angle on the 6. He can either choose to stop or to draw this back slightly, perhaps a few inches, to have a good angle on the 7. He prefers the blind cut here. It's not that difficult. It was an option as well. And it gives him a very natural angle to bring the cue ball back to the center of the table 48. So good choice.
最后2粒球，如果多列汉打进，就是抢尾局了。这个就是顺推2颗星，只要顾进就好了。其实，没问题。现在比数将会是10比10，抢尾局，由多列汉开球，所以现在多列汉还是有一点优势的，因为他的开球基本上还是蛮稳的。
It's heel now, and that is why the leg is always very, very important. In this case, Toh Lian won the leg, so he gets to break and gain control in this heel rag. And if he does, he's going to be the national 9-ball champion 2020-2021.
这个抢尾局呢，那个 shot clock 就不会再用了，因为就是让双方球员有多一点时间来看准那个出杆跟看准球如何打，所以 stop clock 会对双方都比较没有利。哇，这个1号应该是可以进攻，然后1做2，只要1做2做得到。
Okay, the referee is removing the magic right off the table. The 3 and the 9 is not straight, so Toh Lian has got to board 4 balls more after the 1 in order to be the national champion.
这个就是细腻度， 一座山的细腻度，只要做得到3号的下面，然后把3打一个拉杆还是推杆，整场球就是没有悬念的，他就是应该会细腻度打得非常的好。现在只是打一个推杆还是推杆1颗星就可以做得到4号。
He's got a nice angle on the 3. Roll this forward 1 cushion back to the center table. Doesn't want this to go too far. Doesn't want to be straight. I think the cushion bounced too much than he would have liked. And now I think he's pretty straight on the 4 ball, but good thing that the 7 is just sitting pretty close to the right side pocket. If he can just position the 6 easy enough to pocket to the top right side corner, he should still be able to run this out. Just about okay on the 6 ball. Again, rolling this forward. Three shots from the title. Most likely going to kill this cue ball. Drift it to the center table. One good stun with siding to bring the cue ball to the right side of the table to pocket the 9 into the bottom left corner. And if he can do that, Toh Lian is the national 9-ball champion 2020. I think he's done it. Congratulations to Toh Lian, our national 9-ball champion.
恭喜多连汉，他得到冠军了。And thank you, Fraser. It has been a pleasure commentating with you.
Okay, guys, there will be a 10 minutes break on this stream before we proceed on with the prize presentation. So if you'd like to watch the prize presentation, please stay on this stream. Thank you, guys.